Okay.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Cass.
I'm Liz.
And we are Creativity Cubed.
So talk a little bit emotion.
Today we're talking about creativity and innovation. And we happen to live creativity and innovation every single day. They are part and parcel to what we do. They are just part of our businesses, of our art, of our lives. It all plays together. But a lot of people think that creativity is only associated with artists, and innovation is only associated with business. And obviously, we're here to say that's not necessarily the case.
We actually had to have a long conversation about this.
We did.
About how, because it's so integrated into our work that we weren't sure how to separate it out. It took us quite a while to separate that out.
It's almost like it's the same thing, but it's really not. So let me read a couple definitions.
Okay.
We'll have a little nuance for you. So creativity is where something new and something sort of somehow valuable is formed, like an idea or a theory or an invention. Could be any kind of work. It could be a joke. Any of those things are part of creativity. It's also, for innovation, it's a new idea, but it's for a more effective process or a new way to take something that's creative and implement it into a structure or a system that exists. So creativity is essentially a very subjective sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then innovation is taking that really cool subjective idea and then implementing it, using creative resources within a business, for example, and applying a design or coming up with a new design.
And you can have creativity without innovation.
Absolutely.
But you can't have innovation without creativity.
We are on the same page, aren't we? That's kind of funny. So a quick example of something that's creative is in the morning when you get dressed. Like we're both wearing scarves today.
Yeah.
So we had to select a scarf to go with our particular outfit. Well done on the design choice, by the way, because we happened to go together today. Yeah. But anyway, so the creative part was putting this together. The innovative part would be like taking the scarf and wearing it as a belt, or turning it into a
shawl.
A shawl.
I've seen them, or
tying the ends together, making a shawl or a vest,
or around your head,
or as a sling. Maybe you forgot your backpack or your briefcase, and you got to carry a bunch of oranges. So you rip off the scarf, and you just use a scarf. Another like a business example would be something like a square. You know, that you have for your phone, the little square register thing. That's an innovation. The creative idea came up, we need to do this with a mobile process. So how do you do it? And you create the square.
Yeah,
so that's a good example.
Of that.
So the creative idea happened, and the innovative part was making the product that worked in the mobile device.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the definition between creativity and innovation. And again, that measurability is really important for the innovative side. Creativity, you don't have to measure it so much because it's ideas. But innovation is making it happen.
Being creative is part of what we are born with. It's part of what makes us human, and we forget that. We forget that it's such an integral part of who we are. We think it's something that came from somewhere else, and only certain people are gifted from it. But it's something that is nurtured. So if you're got young kids, go ahead and give them the crayons. Let them make a mess. Let them play in the dirt and make mud pies and
get messy.
Because that's all part of nurturing creativity. And if you are an adult, nurture creativity in yourself. Get yourself a box of crayons, get some finger paints, go lay out and look at the clouds and look at shapes in the clouds.
Yeah.
There's lots of ways to do it that don't cost any money and just take a little bit of time and intention.
So let's talk about creativity.
Okay, that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, let it rip.
Let's talk.
Yeah.
One thing I think is always interesting is that we think of there's the born creative, the creative genius. And it's not reality.
It's a myth.
It's a myth.
Yeah.
It's really the myth of the creative genius, the lone
think it
creator.
Is. Yeah.
No, it's actually been proven.
It's been proven? I did not know that. Okay. It's a proven fact.
It's a proven fact. Way back when, back the days of the Greeks, they thought that we had a genius. Not that you were a genius, but that you had a genius.
Oh, like an internal genius?
No, it was a gift from the gods. And
a genius
that sat on your shoulders, whispered the poetry or the music in your ear.
Yes,
and that became what we know as a muse.
Yeah,
and they thought that the muse only picked certain people. Certain people were gifted with that
capability or whatever, yeah.
of doing that. So it was something special and unique, and that has hung with us for
Isn't that
all
interesting?
these
Why do you suppose that
centuries.
is? Any research on that? Why it hung around?
I don't know why, but
Yeah.
I guess because we have the same problem today. We deal with that. Why me? Why would I have a good idea? We kind of downplay ourselves, our
Right.
capabilities. Why would I have this genius idea? And there's the word genius again.
Yeah.
We say I'm not a genius, but we are geniuses.
Yeah.
Everyone's got their own unique genius capabilities, and I think that it's just kind of hung on because we don't think that it came from somewhere else.
Yeah, I think also because people are so comfortable accepting that there are certain people who are creative.
Right.
And that's just a social norm. It's just everybody thinks that's how it is. When
Kinda
in
lets
reality, that's
other people
probably
off the hook.
It does. It lets you off the hook for your own creativity and exploring it.
Yep.
Yeah, and that may be something that is I don't know. It's probably generated by the consistent feeling that true artists are special.
Are special and unique, and not
right, and
everybody
therefore
can do that.
I can't do that because you can only do this massive perfection kind of a thing that goes into art.
Yeah.
Otherwise you can't be an artist.
In my research, I like to do a lot of research.
Yeah.
So I started thinking about way back when before pre-Renaissance, those what's his name? Sculptor.
Da Vinci?
No, not Da Vinci.
Oh wait, Botticelli or something like that.
Any of those people.
Yeah.
Michelangelo.
Oh, that sculptor.
That sculptor. It's that whole memory thing. So they were chosen as children.
Oh, to pursue
and
that.
trained to be that.
Yep.
So and maybe they were chosen because they seemed to have a good knack at drawing or sketching in the dirt. I don't know.
Sketching in the dirt.
Yeah,
Yep.
I don't know. But they were chosen and that was cultivated from such a young age, and we don't do that anymore.
Right. The nurturing isn't there
So
nearly as much because it's not an accepted profession.
Yeah.
And we're still working to change that, particularly now because innovation is so important in business. In order to keep up with economically, you've got to have innovation, and therefore you must have creativity, and you must encourage it. You must nurture it, and we do a really bad job of that right now.
Right, especially
for
in
schools.
They're dropping all the art classes.
Yeah, and the businesses that think if you're sitting there and you're not doing something.
Right,
you're
that
just
whole
sort of
doing busy. If you're not busy.
Yeah, when you're creating, you're designing, you're thinking, you're doing that kind of work, which doesn't require you write something or type something.
Sometimes it requires you take a walk.
Yeah, you take quiet time. That's important.
Yeah.
You sometimes need to be alone with your thoughts in order to come up with that really good idea.
Yeah.
But that's not what we've been used to for the last 40, 50 years.
It's all been about busy.
Yeah.
The busier you are, the better.
The more productive you are. Yeah, theoretically.
And that is just
so not true. So not true. Yeah. So I mean, if we practiced more creativity and nurtured more creativity, whether it's in your schools, in your homes, in the workplace, then there's huge benefits to that. And whether it's an economic benefit or a social benefit, you might feel better because you're finally expressing the creativity.
Because if you've been told you're not creative, but the reality is everyone is creative.
Yeah,
Everyone.
I would have to agree that it's just a matter of bringing it out.
Yeah, we were talking about this earlier.
Yeah.
It's like a muscle. You're born with your muscles. They might be weak. Well, when you're born, they're
kind of weak.
They're kind of wet up. Yeah, and you have to work them.
Yeah. It's like, and here's some of the things we can use. Here's a great. Well, heck.
Yeah.
This is my. I'm working this. We're doing this. But anyway, we have art journals and things where you can put down creative ideas. You can have creative expression. I know you really can't see this very well, but there's lots of opportunity to do something simple, like just add color to something. And there's also great books, like Thinker Toys is a really fun book, and so is
this one, Trickster's Hat by Nick Van Tock.
These are awesome great books that can give you an instant, quick idea.
Yeah, and most of the exercises take minutes.
Minutes at the most. Yeah,
but your creativity is we think of it as a tool, but it's really a muscle.
We're all born with it. It's just like it's like a bicep. You got to work it, and then you got to do it. So another thing you can do to kind of juice your creativity is to look around and find out what's cool in your everyday. Find cool stuff, because that keeps your mind happy and engaged and excited and really looking for the fun things in life. And I have a cool stuff jar, as you guys probably know. I think I've talked about it. So cool stuff jar is just the place where you accumulate the little bits of paper or the sticky notes or the file cards that are colorful or art papers where you've jotted down the fun things. And everything from, we went through a period of lots of rain and now the sun's shining. And so we put that in a little slip of paper and in your cool stuff jar. And then what happens is when you get in those really intense moments or you're down or whatever, you go to the cool stuff jar, just take a few out and read them. And it's like, oh yeah, life is good. So there's another tip for you. So you were telling me about Da Vinci. Didn't he have a quote or something?
Yeah. It was and I didn't have a way of verifying this because, I don't know anybody who was alive when
who knew Da Vinci.
I knew Da Vinci personally.
Yeah.
But the theory is, or the idea is, that he would take a piece of paper and put it in front of him, because it wasn't really paper like we know paper today.
Maybe papyrus or skin or something.
Or
who knows?
Dirt. Maybe he was just sat in front of the dirt.
Yeah.
And he would close his eyes, and I imagine that he took a couple deep breaths and just kind of totally relaxed into that calmness of mindfulness, and then drew shapes on the paper without looking. His eyes were still closed, and he just kind of like an automatic writing. He did this drawing, and then after he was done, or felt like he was done, he would open his eyes and look for clues or sparks of inspiration in that.
Oh, like patterns or designs or something that worked for whatever the next
and
thing was.
supposedly he got quite a few of his ideas sparked that way.
That's
from
very
some
cool.
of his inventions. I thought that was really a cool thing.
That's a great thing.
It's a great easy technique. All you have to do is
close your eyes and get a piece of paper and a pen or something. Yeah, some of the things that I do, like I have this great thing I call it. It's the what if game.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll sit there and go, what if I took that microphone and combined it with that chair? And coming up with new ideas. Or what if you combined an octopus and an ostrich? What does that make? But that the idea is just to get out of whatever the problem is that you're really, really working on, and get out of that.
Yeah.
And that's just complete mindset. Stop. Put that on hold. Well, your subconscious is still going to work on it, of course, but your immediate front of mind then goes to something else, and that's a great technique that I use.
I think it's good to have those kind of techniques because I think, I got to brainstorm some ideas. But brainstorming can be really stressful to be like, I got to come up with like 100 ideas in 3 minutes or whatever. When really sometimes you need to disengage and do something completely different, like go take a walk. Yeah. For me, the famous one is taking a shower. Take a shower.
Everything happens in the shower.
You get great ideas. Or driving, driving, you get great ideas. When your left brain's busy doing something, and we know it's not left brain, right brain, but it's a good metaphor. So when your analytical brain is doing something that doesn't require a lot of thought, it gets bored and goes and does something else. So your creative side can be like putting together all those things. We think it's not working all the time, but it is working all the time.
Well, it's like drawing in the steam on the shower door. It's like you figure things out that way. One of the other things that I like to do, there's two other things I want to toss out. One is do something that engages other senses. Like the lilacs are in bloom now. So you go outside and you smell the lilacs, and it's like, you're engaging other things. So your brain's working on other things, which again frees your mind to go work on the other problem. And then another thing I love to do is draw something or doodle something with my non-dominant hand. Oh yeah, that's really good. Because it's just so much fun. And use a crayon, for gosh sakes. Use something that's not your normal writing tool, and just do some doodling and scribbling because it's kind of fun. And anything with a crayon is fun. Yeah, because it takes you right back. And sniff the crayon because it takes you right back to kindergarten. Yeah. So that's a fun thing. And then something else, I look for a cool image of the day. For me, I
love looking for cool images.
Whether it's pops up on Facebook feed or whatever. It's like some cool image that is really fun to look at for me. Yeah. And that again, it takes your brain out of that problem solving, and lets it relax for a minute.
Stop it. Yeah. Stop what you're doing and disconnect and give your brain a chance to
really think.
To really think.
And being quiet is really important. Making sure you have some quiet time, or even if quiet means white noise or music, but just eliminate some of the distractions and sleep. Good Lord, we all need sleep. Yeah, if you're not sleeping,
you're not getting 8 hours of sleep. You need to get more sleep.
Yeah, sleep is super important.
Yeah. Well, and we talk about that though. I know some people can't get 8 hours in a row, but it's the
Right.
cumulative. Like if you get 4 hours in 4 hours, that's awesome.
Yeah, or if you're a napper.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah,
a,
take a
personally a
nap.
napper, but I know plenty of people who are,
Right.
and they get rejuvenated after 20 minutes or 10 minutes. They're just
and
bing, and
then
they're
I
back
have all
on.
those ideas again.
Yeah, and everything's flowing.
Yeah. And another good time to get ideas is right when you wake up.
Oh, yeah.
When you're just in that kind of half sleepy, dreamy, trying to think about what you were dreaming of, actually
Yeah,
dreaming
remember
about.
that, yeah.
Because your brain's always solving those problems.
Yeah.
And so that's a really good time to, jot down those little things,
Yeah.
insights of inspiration.
And there's also, like, I know you do stitch meditations in the morning, and
Yep.
I have a morning practice too that just is sitting quietly and preparing for the day. And that opens up my mind to whatever's coming. And
Right.
you kind of know what's going to happen initially, and then you're open for whatever happens
And it
for the
doesn't
rest
have
of the
to
day.
be very long. It
No,
can be 5 minutes of
yeah.
being quiet. I'm sure when Da Vinci did that, he
wasn't spending an hour and a
probably
half.
wasn't. No, he
Yeah.
was doing it for just a few minutes to kind of do that. I'm going to try that.
I just want to do it right now, so we'll do that. Let's see. Well, there's some good tips, and I think that's good.
Yeah, good tips for trying out creativity, filling your own creative well.
So, to sum up a little bit, remember there's a little bit of a nuanced difference between creativity and innovation. Creativity is the generation of all those fabulous ideas. Innovation is putting them into practice, doing something new, incorporating it. So, I'm Cass Mullane signing out. Go do something innovative.
I'm Liz Kettle. See you next time. Work those creative muscles in the meantime.